Alright guys, welcome back to MMGinvest and WolfPack Cryptos. If you guys are only on my WolfPack Cryptos YouTube channel, you're gonna miss out on other videos because I'm not gonna post everything on both channels. I just do not have the time. Here's my other YouTube channel. You just type in MMGinvest and you'll find it. And if you're only on my MMGinvest YouTube channel, check out WolfPack Cryptos. Just type in WolfPack Cryptos on YouTube and you'll find my other channel. Alright, so let's do a market update, a macro update. First of all, this is not financial advice. This is more of an educational channel on trading and economics. And I could be completely wrong. And do not invest anything you're not willing to lose or lose sleep over. Stock market, cryptos, everything's extremely volatile, extremely risky. Consult your financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. Alright, so what's going on? Everyone's calling for a market melt up. The market could melt up. It could go up 30% according to Bill Miller. CNBC, JP Morgan, everyone's like, the market's gonna melt up, guys. Everyone, buy the dip, get in now, because the market's starting to hit all-time highs again. Now, the Dow Jones, it hasn't hit all-time highs yet. The S&P, I don't think it has. No, it has not. It's very close. It's like right there, right? So it hasn't. Now, this past Friday, 2 days ago, today's Sunday, March 20. It's not March. It's the 21st, and today's Easter Sunday, right? So it's a holiday weekend, and on holiday weekends, I don't like holding especially on a holiday weekend, because there's a thing where the market's correct on holiday weekends. Either Monday or Friday, the markets aren't trading, and all of a sudden after the weekend, some bad news hits or something, or the market just tends to sell off sometimes, so it's risky to hold over the weekends. Now, we haven't hit all-time highs yet. Now, I know in previous videos, right, I have called and I've stated that we're not going to hit all-time highs again. This would be a huge bull trap, and I don't think we're going to get hit all-time highs again. And I was saying this towards the end of last year and a few months ago, right? So am I going to be right or am I going to be wrong? Now, here's the thing. In my last video, I said I don't care if the stock market goes to all-time highs and keeps going higher, because the only way it's going to keep going higher is if they start cutting interest rates and come out with more QE money printing. And that's why I don't like shorting the market. Instead, you could short the market by buying gold and silver mining stocks or ETFs. Now, ETFs is for more of professional traders, the leveraged ones. The ones that aren't leveraged, you could kind of hold on to those. Just know that there's fees involved, like a 3% fee per year, something like that, or 2% per quarter, something like that. You have to read the fine print. So we haven't hit all-time highs yet, and I was under the impression this is a giant bull trap. Now, I did buy the dip down here, if you guys remember, a few months ago, and then I took profits up here around the major support, which turns into resistance area, and I've missed out on this entire rally. Although I've been trading other stocks, all right, and ETFs, but if you're a long-term investor, when do you get back in, right? Or when do you get out if you haven't gotten out? Now, that's a tricky question, because I have a feeling that we will get a market melt up at this point, because they're going to cut interest rates to keep Trump in office. And Trump's going to do that, and the Fed's going to do that. If they're afraid of anything, it's a recession, because it might be the last one ever. if they let the market fall all the way back down to where it was a few months ago, right? This is a daily chart. Of the S&P 500. Let me go to a weekly real quick. So if the market ever revisits down around 2,400 on the S&P, we're going into full-blown depression, recession, stagflationary depression pretty much. So what am I expecting? We either hit all-time highs like next week or in the next couple weeks, and we really do get that market melt up, or we get a pullback starting tomorrow or sometime this week. So we get a correction, a pullback, and it could be a significant pullback down around 2,600 on the S&P, and we'll bounce higher and then probably take out the all-time highs and then have a market melt up the rest of 2019. So that would look something like, I'm just giving you guys scenarios, something like this, right? And then we go into a market melt up. Now, if we go into, and that would actually pretty much mean that we're going to get a blow off top. Like the market, the S&P could go past 3,400, whatever, and we'll get a blow off top, and then the markets will be at all-time highs. The economy's doing great, as Trump says, and everything, going into 2020, which is the most ideal situation for Trump to get reelected, right? And that's what he wants. Now, I've posted this in the MMG Elite group and WolfPack Cryptos as well. You know, Trump, he just tweeted this earlier today or yesterday. United States weekly jobless claims just hit 50-year low. Economy is doing great, right? Well, that's funny because during the election cycle, he was saying how the numbers were fake, right? How the statistics, what the Labor Bureau is putting out is completely phony. And these are, I posted these in the free chat rooms as well. So, you know, he's a hypocrite. Because they haven't changed the way they come out with these data, how they come out with the data, right? Also, if you haven't seen this, this is extremely hilarious and interesting. The IMF, Christine Lagarde here, she talks about cryptos. And this lady who does like psychological body language, she does, you know, she goes over her body language and the way she acts when she says certain things, so you could tell if someone's lying or not. It's very interesting. All right, so let's get back to the charts. All right, so what's another indicator that that this market is going to have a correction? Well, here's the thing. I'm expecting some sort of pullback. I don't know how far and deep the pullback will be, but there has to be a pullback. This is the longest and most insane rally and rebound I have ever seen. And it really is. In history of the stock market, this is the largest rebound anyone has ever seen. Now, I took part in half of it, but, you know, I wasn't expecting this. And you know why it rebounded as it did? It's because the Fed, the narrative has completely changed, right? No more rate hikes. They completely stopped talking about rate hikes and normalizing the balance sheet. Now they're talking about rate cuts. The only time you cut rates is when after the stock market has crashed and you're in a recession. Technically, the economy is strong, it's booming, and we're not in a recession, but they're cutting rates now. So what does that tell you? That tells you that they're lying. First of all, they're lying, and they know that we're on the cusp of a recession. So what they're doing is they're getting ahead of the market, the Fed is, and they're pumping the market even higher. And because you have to understand, it's a Ponzi scheme. You need more money coming into the market and ever increasing amounts of money to keep it going. So they're trying to get the market melt up going. Will it melt up? I don't know, probably. At this point, the manipulation is so insane. It's like I don't know what to think. The smart money's probably out of the market. I'm out of the market. Like, I'm not long the market. If anything, I bought inverse ETF to short it. I outright short the market. I just buy inverse ETFs because outright shorting the market is very dangerous. Now, so are we going to get a correction? Let's take a look at some other charts and other indicators. On the monthly, I've got some buy signals on the monthly. Interestingly, though, on the weekly, now this is the S&P 500 weekly, I have a lot of sell signals. And the RSI has been overextended, momentum, OBV, TM squeeze, all of these indicators overextended. And I see a pullback prior to retesting all-time highs. So what could happen is a possible cup and handle, right? In the coming weeks and months. So we'll get a cup and handle, and then what? Well, then we get that market melt up. Because the Fed at that point will be cutting rates, and then the stock market could go to all-time highs, and Trump's going to pull some trickery out his sleeve, or he'll promise more tax cuts and all kinds of craziness. China will announce a great trade deal, even though it's not that great, and then we'll get a market melt up. I'm just speculating. I'm just guessing, guys, at this point. And then these are just game theory at this point. And then we'll get a market melt up. So, and that makes sense. We'll get a blow off top. Although the real economy and the economic data is deteriorating still. It's still deteriorating. But the market's just ignoring it because it's pretty much at euphoria levels at this point. And retail investors are jumping into the stock market. Everyone's positive, and it's just very eerie of 2006 and 2007 before the 2008-9 mortgage-backed security crisis, right? So on the weekly, the weekly to me, the weekly and the daily, as a swing trader, I view that as intermediate time frames. So not short term, but like medium term time frames. And then the weekly and monthly are more long term time frames to me, right? So let's just say the 3-day and the daily, and then the weekly and monthly is longer term. Let's go to a 3-day, see what that looks like. Because nobody likes to look at the 3-day, but I do, and that's worked out very well for me, looking at the 3-day time frame. The 3 days tell me there has to be some sort of pullback or correction on the S&P. Now, you know what's funny? The NASDAQ has been leading this rally. It's already hit all-time highs, the NASDAQ. So, and that's on a 5 count on the weekly. So we could have 3 more weeks of upside on the NASDAQ. But, that is also extremely overextended. On the 3-day on the NASDAQ, extremely overextended. It could correct at any given moment here. And that's why I expect a pullback. Let's look at the FANG stocks real quick. FANG stocks have come up on resistance, major resistance right now. It's going to be extremely hard for them to break through that, and I expect a pullback on the FANG stocks. And the way the FANGs go, so will the rest of the stock market. So this is very prime for a pullback, at least on the intermediate time frames. Here's the Russell 2000 smaller companies in the U.S. It's hit this resistance, right? So it's a false breakout out of this descending triangle, and it's hitting the 50-day moving average, and it's been rejected, the Russell 2000, as of now. So that is also signaling a pullback, including the oscillators on the Russell 2000. And I like seeing the Russell 2000 as a indicator to the larger indexes, as a leading indicator. All right, gold. Let's take a look at gold. So gold has been slammed lately in the past few weeks. In the past like 4 weeks, it's been slammed, and that doesn't surprise me. They like doing that, but also this makes sense to me because gold is trading into this golden cross I have here that I guarantee you nobody knows about or is talking about. And my golden cross, this is a weekly chart of gold, weekly, large time frame. So gold could fall a little bit lower, around 1240, 1240, right, in the coming weeks, and the price will fall into this golden cross, which if we zoom out, let me take away something here. It's bothering me. All right, so if gold falls, let me take away so we can see things clearly here. So if gold, the price falls, it's funny though, because my TD indicator is giving me a buy signal already. So I'm not saying it will fall to 1240 because, possibly this 50, no, that's the 100-day moving average might hold up the price, but it's looking like it's going to break through. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just going to keep accumulating and buying on these dips. But as gold falls and trades into this golden cross, and this golden cross is the 200-day and my blue line, my equilibrium line, right? And the last time it did that, I've been showing you guys this for a few months now, we went into a bull market back in, what was the last time? The last time they crossed, actually this is, it was on the 3-day chart. You can see it better on the 3-day chart. Alright, here we go. So, on the 3-day chart, this is the price of gold. The last time the 200 moving average on the 3-day chart crossed my blue equilibrium line, we had this massive rally into 2011. It was, almost a decade-long rally since 2002. Well, it's going to cross again, and that's the golden cross. So there we go. Hold on, let me take this to a weekly again. There's the golden cross on the weekly. And I just say golden cross and death cross. I know it's really the 50 and the 200-day. It's just easier for me to say that. And then here's the last time the 200-day or the 200-week moving average crossed my blue line. So we'll see how this works out. And it makes perfect sense because the reason gold's going to take off with the stock market as it melts up, and even the dollar could take off and rally because Europe's in trouble, and is because the Fed's going to have to cut rates, and they're going to have to do QE eventually or something. When I'm thinking they will start cutting rates, that'll cause the market melt up, and then the market will finally crash because it's unsustainable, and then they will come out with QE to buy more time or hold it up. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But during that entire time, gold should be taking off. So should silver. And I know a lot of people out there are like, gold's going to go sub 1,000. That makes no sense. It cost over $1,200 just to mine at 1 ounce of gold. And the cost of mining gold is just going higher and higher, which is negative for gold mining companies, but eventually the price of gold has to reflect reality, right? Let's look at oil. As the price of oil goes up, oil is going to go up with the stock market. As the price of oil goes up, so is mining costs and everything else, right? It looks like oil has a bottoming pattern right here. And once oil gets past $74, man, or the price of gas is going to go up, guys. and we'll retest these highs of $110 a barrel of crude. This is sweet crude. So what else am I looking at? All right, let's look at some IPOs. Now, an indicator that the market is weak and it's running out of cash and the appetite for speculation's running out is when IPOs, are launching and nobody's buying them and they're falling below issuance price, right? IPO's initial public offering. Lyft fundamentally is horrible because they cannot make a profit. Pinterest just had its IPO. Pinterest is not doing bad, but it just had it Thursday. So we'll see if this fails as an IPO. I'm not buying that. Zoom. I use Zoom for video. It's kind of like Skype, but a lot better. Zoom makes money. I think they're profitable. I'm not exactly sure. I like Zoom, and if the price could fall a little bit lower, I might buy it. We'll see. But it all depends on what the stock market does as well. Maybe I'll buy it in a few weeks or a month after the pullback on the S&P and NASDAQ and all that. What was hilarious is people were buying the ticker ZOOM because they thought it was the Zoom IPO, but they're idiots. And this was a penny stock. Check this out. All they had to do was zoom out, right? Zoom out, pun not intended. And this was a stock from the dot-com bubble era, right? This thing was at a freaking... Look at this. This is insane. Look how much this thing was worth. $1,200, and it's worth like nothing now. That's what the NASDAQ.com bubble looked like, guys. Isn't that hilarious? This is another reason why I'm still a little bearish with cryptos, because the ICO bubble, right? Crypto bubble... You don't get out of a bear market this quickly after, a crash like this. If anything, if you look at this stock, this move right here reminds me of the bull trap we're in right now. And I'm not making a crypto video today. All you have to do is look at the other crypto video that I made Friday, I believe. It still stands true. And in the free chat rooms, I put out my thoughts and opinions and updates on the crypto price as well. All right, and the stock market. So I just want to show you guys that it's hilarious. So people are buying the wrong ticker, and these are your retail investors. Now, as a speculative play, you could always take like $100, and if you find a ticker that's like Zoom, right, before the IPO launched, you could have made like a killing. But you would have had to watch this, right? As it's straight up gambling, but you never know. You could turn like $100 into a couple thousand or 10,000, something like that. Grubhub. That was another IPO. It's tanked. When did that? Oh no, never mind. That wasn't. I had the wrong ticker here. Snap. I remember when Snap ICO or IPO'd. I keep mixing these up. IPO'd in 2017. That has done terribly. I was very critical of Snap, and I shorted it back then in like 2018, and I did very well. And it's gone even lower than I thought. And it's been doing this since the entire market's been going up since Trump was elected, right? Lyft, we'll see how Uber does. Now, in the MMG Elite group, I posted, I posted, a bunch of IPOs that are coming out. And we'll look at some great opportunities with these IPOs because there's strategy behind playing these IPOs. If they look to be good or even look to be bad, we'll play a few of them because it's easy money pretty much. So I pretty much want to leave it at that. I don't want to make too much of a longer video. I have to go. I have plans for today. What else is going on? I released indicators. Tesla cars are exploding. China, they've been faking their economic data numbers. I posted that in the free room as well. So that's pretty much it for today. I'll make more videos next week. I'm just really busy right now. All right, guys. I do believe gold's going to recover. I can't say if it's going to do it this week or next week, but for the long term, I'm still bullish on my mining stocks, which if you're interested, I've done research. Go to mmginvest.com. Watch this video. I show you what to expect with the research report, and you could get the research report and then get a special invite to the private room where we do updates and I share indicators and trading tutorials and techniques. All right, guys. Until next time, smash that like and leave anything in the comment section. I will read them and answer any questions you guys have. Until next time.